Pleasant to our viewers of Equinoxe Television. It's time for the news. We thank you so much for joining us. Our major story is tonight: pupils and students resume classes for the academic year 2022-2023 for the second term, which is the most decisive of the academic year. And also we'll be telling you more about the funeral ceremony of Le Roi Pelé in this newscast. Stay with us for details and more. Welcome back, viewers. We just told you that across the national territory today, pupils and students resume classes for the second and most decisive term of the academic year. Our reporters made a stopover at various schools here in the economic capital, Douala. For me, Armstrong Sanda was at the government bilingual high school in Bipanda, where the administration called on the school authorities and also the students to be very diligent in their posts of duty during the start of the second term of the academic year 2022-2023. Let's have more in this report.
A systematic check and control of students via bags and contents, a strict control and an on-the-spot discipline of students with overgrown hair and wrong outfit. We are at the government bilingual high school Bepanda in the Douala 5 municipality, where the second term of the 2022-2023 academic year kick-started in a serene atmosphere.
I'm very happy that all the students came in health, firstly. Secondly, I saw all my staff administrative around me to make sure that school resumes effectively. All the students are there, the administrative staff is there, teachers are in the classroom, so I'm very happy to know that school effectively resumes today.
Rightly so, as early as 6:30 a.m. students could be seen trooping into the school campus, some accompanied by their parents, while others struggled to find their way. This was immediately followed by the traditional General Assembly and the hoisting of the national flag, an opportunity used by the school principal and the senior discipline masters to remind students of the expectations of the second term, but also the need to remain disciplined.
As you know, we start with the first part of the second term before going to holidays. Today, we continue with the second part of the second term. You have to know that your main objective here, when you wear this uniform, is success in the end of the year. So you must work hard, very hard. And we have done 3 weeks of classes, and now we are going to do 3 weeks also of class before the end of the evaluation. So we have to be very serious. We have to learn our lesson, because the second term is very short and very important.
Besides the need to work hard and maintain the excellent reputation of government bilingual high school Bepanda, the principal says discipline and cleanliness are core values in his institution.
In my office, I put the video surveillance to make sure that no stranger can come to school.
This, according to him, has been made possible by the full implication of the administrative staff, the teaching staff, and the students of the institution.
And at Lycée Polyvalent in the Douala 4 municipality here in Douala in Bonaberi, the school as well opened its doors today to the students and the pupils. As staff lady Lucy Liengu Asia was there, she now tells us about day one of the second term of at Lycée Polyvalent in Bonaberi here in Douala in this report.
After a 2 weeks break, students of Lycée Polyvalent, Bonaberi Douala 4 subdivision have answered present for the start of the second term 2022-2023 academic year. gathered at the assembly ground. The students, in presence of the principal, teachers, hosted a flag and sang the national anthem. In his address, Baga Tomcha, school principal, assured the students that measures have been put in place to ensure a hitch-free term.
Nous sommes déjà à plus de 50% de l'année scolaire.
We are about 50% ready for the 2022-2023 academic year. Taking the case of technical students, immediately we return from third term, they have to write their exam. Some upper six students went for internship in December and they are back this morning. Others will go for an entrepreneurship internship in a month. With all this, we have encouraged our students to work hard, wake up from sleep because we have limited time. Students of 3LAF Sing started the day with English language. Dagobert Obi, English language tutor.
Well, just from our general assembly with the principal, and I'm having our first class, which is English language. So today, I was just telling the students that the second semester is beginning, and for us to achieve our objective, that is everybody passing in Terminal FSEN, everybody has to be punctual in school. No absenteeism will be tolerated. And that, for the students on their part, we don't need to force them as terminal students. They should know that they're going to write their exams in some few months. So discipline should be the watchword now for them. So that at the end of the day, we should pass as a class.
In a serene atmosphere, students in examination classes say they are working hard to have a success.
After Christmas, I've taken with some measure to learn more and to acquire some knowledge to have a good result in the second term who is coming. And because the evaluation have started, so we are going to give the best of us.
While some students had physical education as first activity of the day, those who came late were being punished by the discipline master to sweep and keep the campus clean, after which they were allowed to join their mates in class. The school has as watchword hard work, discipline and success.
And in Gaundare, the students complain that the dusty nature of the road is affecting their health as they resume classes for the second term today. Reporter Immaculate Fogwe now tells us about day one of school resumption for the second term in the Adamawa region in this report. We come back to school in the Adamawa region, precisely in Gaundare, where the students are complaining that the dusty nature of the road in the entire Adamawa region is affecting their health as they resume classes today for the second term of the academic year 2022-2023. Let's now have more with Immaculate Fogwe.
Day one of the second term of the 2022-2023 academic year at the Mazenot College in Gaundare, North Region of Cameroon. At the entrance of the school gate, the discipline master alongside other teachers are ensuring the strict respect of the dressing code. At the assembly ground, the students are reminded by their principal on the need to respect the school rules and regulation. We already spent 3 months together, so you all are aware of the school rules and regulations. Nothing has changed. The discipline masters will visit each classroom to check your nails and haircut. Though excited about school resumption, the students say the dusty nature of their roads exposes them to all sorts of respiratory diseases such as cyanosis and cough. Other students complain that their uniforms easily get dirty due to the dust. When coming to school, we are forced to put on face masks. While in class, the dust gets in through the window. We breathe with difficulties. We are forced to go to the hospital regularly due to respiratory problems. All the trees are covered with dust. It is difficult to breathe. Our students are forced to wear face masks every day. For how long are they going to do so? The dust is due to the abandonment of works on the road for the past 4 years by the company in charge. At Government Bilingual High School Boundary, several students were present on campus anxiously waiting to receive lectures. The students expressed their determination to double their efforts during this term.
And now over to this human interest story. At least 3 persons have been discovered dead in Douala within 24 hours. A Cameroonian international player whose name we got as Armand Joao Banaken died yesterday, while barrister Diboma was also attacked by armed men at his residence. He gave up the ghost at the Lakentini Hospital and also in Garwa in the north region of the country. An inspector was discovered dead in his room. Let's now have more with Mala Glory.
Lively and energetic. Unfortunately, it is his last dance for the year 2022. Barely 2 days into the year 2023, Barrister Victor Samuel Diboma II, member of Cameroon Bar Association and member of the Cameroon Union of Young Lawyers, died at the Lakentini Hospital after being attacked at his residence in Bonaberi Douala 4 subdivision by unknown individuals. And this is Armand Joao Banaken. He is a Cameroonian international player who has died in a road accident in Indonesia. The 35-year-old defender was immediately rushed to the hospital. Where, after battling with his health for hours, Joao Banaken was unable to conquer death. In Garwa, north region of Cameroon, Njoya Abdul was discovered dead and in a state of decomposition. He is an inspector at the regional delegate of secondary education. The door of his room was forced open by the elements of the gendarmerie brigade together with judicial authorities, where the lifeless body was discovered. According to security forces, the man has been suffering from a heart attack. The corpse has been taken to the mortuary while investigations are open to determine the real cause of his death.
And we told you on the headlines at the funeral ceremony of Leroy Pelé, the footballer from Brazil, who has been an icon in the world of football all through his life, began today. More than 230,000 mourners from across Brazil have filed past Pelé's coffin since the wake began at 10 a.m. That was on Monday, voicing adoration and regret over the passing of a sporting legend who won 3 World Cups and became the country's most famous international calling card. A giant banner dropped over one of the stands captured their emotions with the words "Viva, Viva o Rei, long live the King." Lula, that's the president of Brazil, joined mourners on the pitch of the 16,000 capacity ground on Tuesday, that was early today, after flying into Santos from the capital Brasilia, where he was sworn in for a historic third term. The football-loving leftists who grew up watching Pelé play comforted the footballer's relatives and friends under a white mark where his coffin has been draped with the yellow and green flag of Brazil and Santos' white flag. And now we talk something else. Still out of the country, we take you to neighboring Uganda, where at least 9 persons lost their lives in a stampede which took place in that neighboring country, in Kampala precisely. A stampede during New Year's celebrations at a popular mall in Uganda's capital. Kampala left at least 9 people dead, including children, the police said on Sunday. Well, we have images there of the stampede in Uganda. The stampede happened at the Freedom City Mall in Namasuba suburb as revelers rushed to watch fireworks. The Kampala Metropolitan Deputy Police spokesperson said the incident appeared to have occurred at midnight. And the mortal remains of Pope Emeritus Pope Benedict XVI have been transferred to the Basilica of St. Peter, where they will, it was laid in state for 3 days. Today is the second day to offer the faithful an opportunity for prayer and to pay their final respects to the former Supreme Pontiff of the Vatican. The Pope Emeritus body resting in front of the altar of the confession is vested in traditional red liturgical garments with a mitre, but without the pallium, the latter a symbol of jurisdiction which is normally not used for a retired prelate. A simple rosary is held in his interlaced fingers. May his soul continue to rest in peace. And viewers, that does it for the first part of the news. Don't go away. Talking Points comes up next. On Talking Points tonight, we are coming back to the speech of President Paul Biya, or his traditional end-of-year address to the nation. We are coming back to some important aspects which were highlighted by the President of the Republic as he addressed his compatriots on December 31. And our guest tonight is Yenti Ernestine. She is of the civil society. Madam Yenti Ernestine, thank you so much for accepting to be our guest tonight on Talking Points. Going right away to my very first question. Among the so many other things President Paul Biya told Cameroonians on December 31, he spoke about health, which is a priority to so many Cameroonians. We know health is a right. Good health is a right of Cameroonians. President Paul Biya spoke about the construction of the Garoua Regional Hospital. All of us, we know that the referral hospital in Bamenda is still pending, and President Paul Biya insinuated that with the construction of the Garoua Regional Hospital and all that which already exists in Cameroon, good health is somehow at the disposal of Cameroonians. Thank you so much for being on our platform. And are you of that same opinion or the same view with President Paul Biya?
Thank you to Madam and Abila. For me, it would certainly not be enough. If you look at the referral hospitals in Cameroon, in relation to the population, Cameroonians' population, actually, that can never contain Cameroonians. Which means we need more hospitals, not only hospitals, not only infrastructures. We should be talking about special medical personnel. We should be talking about specialists that are going to work in this environment. And looking at the Cameroonian society right now, our best working heads are going abroad. There's no medical doctor that comes out of school, no matter how well you're trained, they want to work in Cameroon. So that too is another factor. That is something they need to look at, because they are never satisfied about their salaries. Most of them complain about having low wages. Most of them complain about not being treated right. So even if the infrastructures are there, the medical personnel are not there, nothing will work good for Cameroonians. So we need to take a look at, firstly, the training of our medical personnel. How do they go to, which schools do they attend? Because at first we used to know Cameroonians will have the best school, which was Greece in Yaoundé. Later on, now we have other medical schools that were sent to other universities like Boya, Bamenda, University of Chang, and all whatnot to train medical personnel. We need to look at how those concourses are being controlled. Because if you cannot admit the right children, you just go get anybody. A child studies engineering, maybe a child studies arts, and they're being admitted to go do medicine. That is an error. And you know in Cameroon that is normal. Everybody wants to just do anything, in as much as you have somebody who connects you to that particular school, you're admitted. And the best heads who have advanced level, who graduate from other good schools, they don't have the opportunity to go study, not to talk of becoming medical doctors. And so if you have, firstly, the students are chosen poorly. They go to school, they don't perform well, but yet they come out and they're in the field. They will not really develop that zeal of working. Firstly, what prompted them to becoming a medical doctor when it was not what they studied? That is the problem. Now, when they start working, they won't work well. Firstly, if you see that mostly children of the well-to-do in the society, they come out, maybe they don't, first of all, have the moral value. They don't treat patients right. They're just there just to get a big title, maybe get a salary. And patients come to the hospital, they don't attend to them properly the way they should do. We know they have medical ethics, they have medical follow-up, but that is not enough too. So firstly, we have to look at how do these people get into these medical schools? What training do they get? Are they integrated now into hospitals? How much salaries are they paid? And then now it comes back to infrastructure. Infrastructure, if we build a big building and yet we don't get the adequate machines, how would that help Cameroonians? You know, right now there are a lot of diseases out there, a lot of health issues, and we need special medical equipment. If we do not get them, then I think there's a lot that needs to be done. So if he's promising us all these referral hospitals, we just hope and pray we get adequate medical personnel, we get adequate health equipment, then we can now boast of having all these hospitals, and like Cameroonians, everybody will be fine.
Now, among the several declarations which were made by President Probia, he also spoke about the warring areas of Cameroon, talking about the far north region with the Boko Haram insurgency. He spoke about the northwest and the southwest regions, and insists that the government is putting in more efforts to ensure that calm returns to those warring areas of Cameroon. Do you see peace returning to the northwest and the southwest regions soonest?
I was so impressed when you talk about peace, dialogue, and conflict resolution. That was his main statement. Like, they're going to bring back peace, they're going to bring back dialogue, they're going to bring back conflict resolution. But now, over the years, people have spoken. Over the years, international communities have tried to intervene. Over the years, Cameroonians have cried. A lot of people have brought up good ideas, all the discourse said on TV, on debates, and all whatnot. What next? The big talk here was let him create an avenue where he can get a proper dialogue, especially with the separatist fighters, especially with the terrorist leaders, and all whatnot. Because looking at it, there's never a problem without a solution. Looking at it, there's never a problem that just pop up without something generating it. So if there should be something generating all these problems in all these areas, then he should go back to the roots. Try to know what really happened, and then get a proper dialogue with those who matters. It's not getting a dialogue with just anybody. You get dialogue with those who matters. Because no matter how we beat around the bush, no matter how round and round we go, we need to go straight to those who matters. Because, you know, it's been long. We're thinking that by now maybe everything must have been over. People thought maybe it was just a little something that was just going to pop up for a while and then it goes away. But right now, the big question is, when will all this stop? When will we stop hearing of people being killed in the north by the Boko Haram? When will we stop hearing of people being free or not being killed in northwest and southwest? Because right now, to say the least, there are some areas in this particular war-torn areas you cannot access. If I can remember, well, my cousin last 2 weeks died and we were not able to access Ndop, that's in Kotunya, to go give him a proper burial. People had to pass through the western region to get down to Ndop. Firstly, the cost of transportation was very high. The risk factor too was there. Then getting into the village, you are not safe. So we need to look at all these aspects. And as people crying day and night, all we ask the president to do, we know he's been trying. We've seen the prime minister, we've seen ministers, we've seen a lot of people coming out there to talk. But all of us know the truth. We just want dialogue. If this dialogue takes place and yet there's not a concrete solution, then we can now thinking about maybe other measures. But all we want for now is dialogue. When we dialogue now, we can come up now maybe with a peaceful resolutions. We can come out now with other means of doing conflict settlements. Then can we talk about maybe reconstruction? Then can we talk about all the big projects we're bringing at road construction, maybe hospital building, maybe putting up companies, maybe putting up... In fact, just everything will fall in place right if there is peace. And this can only be put in place through dialogue.
And now talking about our project, road construction, you just mentioned a while ago while answering or responding to the second question. In President Probia's address, he also mentioned several projects, the road constructions. Among them, the construction of the road from Babaju to Bamenda in the Northwest region, and also that from Kumba to Equinoxe leading up to Mundemba. Do you think that we should end at the level of announcement and very little follow-up on the ground?
You know, when this project started, we had private companies or international companies like Satom, like Razel, that got the contracts. But later on, they complained about insecurity, like they were being attacked, and so they could not work. So later on, the government brought up this idea of using the génie militaire to do this construction. But that has been over 2-3 years, and yet if you have to access this environment, you notice that maybe the materials were there, maybe the equipments were there, but yet the actual work has not been done. So everybody's asking the question like, what is happening? What is wrong? But if you want to know, the real question is, these environments are not secure. There is war, and you cannot be fighting and yet you're constructing. That is just what is happening. There is the equipment, there is the manpower, maybe the financing too, but yet there is war. How can you reconstruct a road when there is war? So no matter how big the plans are, it can never work unless there is peace. Unless there is peace, I repeat. Because if you look at it very well, even if you have to redo the infrastructure, look at the destruction that has taken place in this environment. It's very easy for it to be destroyed once more. And talking about roads in Cameroon, that is one of the major developmental hindrances we are having. Because even when we get the roads, we don't get good maintenance. We have poor management systems. We have poor construction systems. Even when these companies get all the contracts, if you look at the quality of materials they use on the road, is very poor. And yet there is nobody to follow up on that, to go see, to go check. And we know our system. He also talked about corruption. He warned strictly about corruption in this country, like it has gone to stop. Everybody prays for it to stop, because that is one of the major economic hindrance too. Corruption. If I want to link it now, I'll talk about road construction. You go get a contract to build a road, and maybe about 40% of that particular money goes for maybe negotiation of that contract, maybe goes for bribery, maybe goes for other irrelevant things that is not linked to that road construction. What do you do with 60% of that money? So in all, it's not a matter of the government only. It's a matter of every Cameroonian being conscious of what we really want.
Thank you so much, Yanchi and Estine, for accepting to be our guest tonight on Talking Points. Just to mention again that you are of the civil society, and thank you for joining me to come back to some of the highlights President Paul Biya mentioned during his end-of-year address to the nation that was on December 31. And viewers, we thank you too for always being with us on Equinoxe Television. Don't go away, our programs continue as usual. The news in the French language comes up at 8 p.m. Bye-bye for now, and see you tomorrow.
Equinoxe Télévision, au-delà de l'image, nous rendons compte.